How won't they stabilize?
Out. It's Derek Davidson from outside of the front row leads everybody into turn one. That's Jack Hewitt in the white car down on the bottom trying to get around Kent Christian, but hangs on to third place.
And also down on the bottom is Dave Darlin as he tries to move up some positions. He's way down on the inside of the track. It's the 17 car of Davidson leading the race. Christian running in second. Jack Hewitt is third, and we ride on board with him.
You can see, let's see if we can see his hands where they're talking about. You can see right there that he's got her cranked a little bit to the left as he's coming around. Somebody down there on the bottom
Brian
side
Tyler. Yeah,
could not make it stick.
Brian Tyler got way down on the inside, but could not make it stick. There is Darlin racing alongside Terry Pletch, and Pletch holding him off. That is for the 5th position.
Once again, back on board with Jack Hewitt. He's back there in third spot. Doesn't seem to be able to gain a whole lot, and he's not really right up on that cushion that he likes so very much to run on. Right there he is, though. Got him at the top coming off the 2.
Hewitt running in third spot. He goes to the bottom of the racetrack to try to put Kent Christian back to third. Cannot do it. Running in fourth position is Brian Tyler. And in fifth is Darlin. Sixth position is Pletch.
Hewitt's tried all over the racetrack. He's tried the high groove, the low groove. Just doesn't seem to be much down on that bottom. You can see where it's shiny. That's where it's really slick. There's a little bit of moisture down there on the bottom, but just not enough. You can see right there where the real dark stuff is, where he's running right now. That's a little bit faster groove, but it's just not enough to get you off that corner. You get so much momentum running off of that bank down the straightaway. Your straightaway speed is just so much greater.
And now we see Darlin once again at the bottom side of the racetrack as he comes up to duel side-by-side with Brian Tyler, and Hewitt is still working on Christian for second.
And Darlin knows that he's got to gain one more spot to get in that main event. He's now running in 5th spot. He's going to get 1 lap to go, and he pulls up. Now then's his best shot. Christian moves back as he made a mistake, and he's gone all the way from first. Oh, man, he cut off Tyler. Now then, Darlin goes down to the inside.
Going to be quite a scramble here for the 4th transfer spot, and Brian Tyler wound up in 4th position and not making it was Kent Christian as Davidson won the race, followed by Hewitt, and then Darlin in 3rd.
Yeah, Darlin came through there. Brian Tyler made it. Kent Christian was a big loser in that last couple of laps as he went from 2nd back to 4th and back up to 2nd again, or 3rd again. But then for some reason, man, they both blew him away down to 3 and 4 in the last lap.
Yeah, he was in 5th position on both the, on the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th laps, gained 2 positions in the final lap and came home in 3rd. So there you have the results of the 3rd heat race. Davidson, Hewitt, Darlin, Tyler, they're the transfers, and Kent Christian led the non-transfer drivers. Well, we're going to have to move things along as quickly as we can here tonight because we are well behind schedule due to the fact that we've had not 7 but 8 flips we've recounted. And so Dave is ready already with our Victory Lane interview.
Yeah, an opportunity to step in here and talk to the 3rd-ranked driver in the Stoops Freightliner Series, Derek Davidson. That was a good run. Tell me about this race car.
Well, actually, it's a new car to us. We've only ran it about 4 times, so we're trying to work it out. And, you know, fortunately, we got out to a good start on the first lap of that heat race, and we got to, you know, just take off and run our own race.
You had a great line. The thing drifting up all the way to the wall off, too. That seems like a scary moment, wondering if that thing's going to hook up and go or if it's going to keep sliding and hit the wall.
Yeah, well, actually, I wasn't pushing it, you know. As long as I didn't see anybody, I was just going to be real cool and, you know, just try to run a smart race because there's been a lot of race cars torn up tonight, and I didn't want to be one of them.
So what about the prospects for the main event? Think you can win one here on the high banks?
Well, actually, you know, we're starting way in the back, so we'll just see what we can do. But, you know, maybe a top 5, I'd be happy with that. We qualified about 20th, so we're going to be starting in the back.
All right, he had a heck of a run in the heat race. He's got a lot of guys to pass to the feature. That's Derek Davidson, 3rd in the series points and the winner of the 3rd heat. We'll take a commercial break and come back with more. It is Thunder on an eventful evening at Eldora. Stay tuned.
For years, ESPN has been working to improve sports for the fan.
Designed to extend the season for fans in places like frigid Lambeau Field, the Toasty Ball is heated by a small plutonium furnace. But at 130 degrees, it's too hot to handle.
But experiments like Toasty Ball did lead to a breakthrough in coverage for all sports. ESPN Sports Zone. With Chris Mortenson's column, drive charts, everything you need to be a better fan. ESPN Sports Zone. Technology for you.
There's a big cover-up performed by millions of people every day. People who have ugly nail fungus. It turns nails' colors, makes them thick or brittle. But now you may be able to go barefoot without embarrassment. With more beautiful nails, healthier, clearer nails. You see, nail fungus lives deep under the nail at the base. That's why it's so hard to get rid of. But by calling this number now, you'll receive a free video and learn how it may be possible to get beautiful, healthy nails back. Because today, your doctor has effective treatments that attack the fungus right where it lives. So call to uncover the truth about nail fungus and get your free video on nail care and treatments. The sooner you call, the sooner you may be able to go barefoot without embarrassment.
Ready for heat race number 4, or very close to it, that is. We're on board with J.J. Yaley here, one of the 9 participants in this final 8-lap heat race of the evening.
You can see a couple of stickers there on his dash. The Turbines Incorporated, they award the Checkered Flag Award, $250 to fast time at every USAC sprint car race. And of course, Wins has the Wins Challenge money, $3,000 up, and it's tonight. It's going to go to the winner of the second heat race, which was Kevin Thomas, or the third heat race, which was Derek Davidson, or the fourth heat race, which we'll find out here shortly. So those 3 drivers will have a chance at the Wins Challenge money should they win the feature event tonight.
Here's the lineup for the 4th heat race. On the pole, Dave Pepperak in car 177. Rusty McClure will start alongside. Second row, Gus Wasson in 23 and Brian Hayden in 2H. Third row, Dean Billings in 69B. And Bill Rose in number 6. The 4th row, J.J. Yaley, car 4J, and Frankie Kerr, the defending champion of this event, in car 23S. And Roger Shadon will start in the 5th row in car number 15C.
This is Chris Hoyle's Motorsports night here at Eldora Speedway. Of course, he is the sponsor. One of the sponsors owns Gus Wasson's car, so they are helping to sponsor this race here at Eldora tonight.
Let's see how heat race number 4 goes. Green flag is waving, and the pole sitter gets a very, very bad start. He's back to 4th position already. That's Dave Pepperak. As out front, we have Rusty McClure in the 09 car.
We're riding along with J.J. Yaley. Oh boy, you can tell that he's battling that thing up there. It's not nearly as comfortable as Johnny Heidenreich making it sound back there. He's fallen clear back to the last spot.
Yes, he has. J.J. Yaley is all the way back to the final position. Now he begins to try to move up a bit and pass the 15 car of Roger Shadon. He does so successfully, but man, he's got a long way to go here in this race to make a transfer spot.
Yeah, and he looks like he's got his hands full. Looks like he's got another spot as he goes around Dean Billings. He's right up on that high side, taking the high road around here. Jack Hewitt says that's the only place to run this racetrack, and Yaley's showing us that that's where he's going to run.
Good battle for 3rd position. Frankie Kerr has moved up to 3rd spot, so he has moved up from his 4th row starting position to 3rd. The lead is held by Rusty McClure.
Rusty McClure running 2nd, Bill Rose in 2nd, Frankie Kerr in 3rd position, and behind that is a 2H of Brian Hayden. So those 4 guys are in the transfer spots, and boy, look at him battle that race car. That's Dave Pepperak. He's trying to get around. Ooh, he gets close to the wall.
Man, oh man, does he. All right, there's your leader, McClure. 2nd place is Rose. 3rd is Frankie Kerr, and he's trying to pass 2nd place Rose, but cannot do it as we continue to watch J.J. Yaley way up high on the racetrack try to move into a transfer spot.
Gus Wasson just moved into that 4th spot, so he's in the transfer position. Yaley, now then Kerr goes down. He's going to try to take over 2nd. He does that little slide job down to the inside. Rose tries to diamond back off and get around him. Can't do it as Kerr successfully takes over 2nd spot.
And the white flag is waving. 1 more lap to go. Rusty McClure well out in front. Kerr now 2nd. Then Bill Rose in the 3rd position. And 4th is still Gus Wasson. On the outside looking in is Brian Tyler and J.J. Yaley and others. There's Yaley way down on the bottom of the racetrack, and Larry is just not going to work for him. He's going to have to go through the semi-feature. Checkered flag drops, and Rusty McClure wins the race with Kerr second, Rose third, and the fourth position going to Gus Wasson.
Yeah, that was a tough race. The racetrack's beginning to dry out. You can see the guys that dropped down to the bottom side of the racetrack didn't have much success because it seems to be getting drier and drier down there. The cushion is very, very close to the wall, so you got to kind of suck it up and get up there and hang on.
So McClure comes into the pits, and we'll take a break here, and then Dave Despain will talk to the winner of the fourth heat race. Coming up before too long will be the semi-feature. The 40-lap main event is yet to come also here at Eldora Speedway in Ohio. They're the top 5 finishers in heat race number 4. Rusty McClure is the winner. Back in a moment.
At Firestone, we take our competitive traditions seriously. Take our sale on steel-belted radials. Now competitively priced at 4 for $99 with a 45,000-mile limited warranty. So hurry into Firestone.
Looking for a way to lose fat? Forget diets. To lose fat permanently, you need to build muscle. And that's just what the new Soloflex Rocket helps you do. Rocket is the safest, easiest strength training tool in the world. You don't need to know a lot about strength training. You don't have to change the machine, and you don't have to work with heavy weights. But there is nothing that will give you fat losses fast or fat losses lasting.
On sale now. Call now for your free brochure.
You may not have a 300-yard drive. You may not have a wedge shot that'll win any pro tournaments. But if you have a putter, you can win $250,000. Introducing the Compact World Putting Championship. Anyone can enter. You just need to visit your local club or pro shop and have a putter. To register at clubs or pro shops, call 1-888-WPC-PUTT.
You know, be a really good anchor would be that MacGyver guy, you know. He'd be a good anchor. That guy that was on TJ Hooker, Dance Fever guy. He was pretty good.
Rusty McClure, Frankie Kerr, Bill Rose, and Gus Wasson are the top 4 in heat race number 4. Brian Hayden finishes in 5th position. Here's the victory lane interview with Rusty.
Well, when you beat the defending race champion, that's a pretty good way to start the evening. Kerr closed on you a little bit, Rusty, but he couldn't touch you. That was a good run. Tell me about it.
Thank you. The car was working real well. You know, it's a Tignati car. Sponsors and stuff really help out a lot here.
You've won on this racetrack before in a CRA race. What about the prospects for tonight? You think you can win a USAC national race here?
We qualified pretty bad. We're going to have to start in the back, but we're going to give it our best shot and try to come up as far as we can.
What's the best way to pass the guy in front of you at Eldora?
Slide job.
Slide job. So we'll see some of those from you in the main event.
We're going to work our way up through, yeah.
All right, man. Go dial this thing in. We'll see you in the feature.
Okay, we'll be there. Thank you.
All right, that's Rusty McClure. Best finish in the USAC sprint race this year was fourth at Attica. I guarantee you there's nothing like Eldora at Attica.
Transferring to the feature race in heat races only gives you your qualifying time back, and that's why Rusty will start somewhere around 28th or around there in the feature. So he's right. Although he won the fourth heat race, he's got a lot of traffic to pass in the feature.
Well, starting in the back here is going to be very, very difficult, as you've heard. That's what's going to make it hard for Kevin Huntley. He qualified 25th. He's going to start back there. Hewitt qualified 15th, so he's going to be back there, too. He should be a good feature race.
The World of Outlaws are here at Eldora Speedway on Friday night, and then the big open historical big one, 5, coming up on Saturday night. Let's check out what the World of Outlaws have been up to. Here's Dave Despain.
California's Paul McMahon took his first pole in the white Mopar, but Chris Esch, the local hero, jammed by on the high side. McMahon lost second to Sammy Swindell. Now, look out. Here he comes. It's Tommy Tipover. Team fixed the car. Paul was able to continue. We go to lap 18. Esch and Swindell had each packed their respective right rears. Go forward to lap 19. Watch Esch hit the same spot exactly, and Sammy jumps by on the low side for the white flag. But when Sammy came around the next time looking for the checker, wrong. It's the yellow, and that's because Esch's car has stopped over on the backstretch. So the local hero is out of luck, but Sammy is also in trouble. Watch the right rear jumping up and down like a Chevrolet push rod, as Larry Rice would say. He's going nowhere. They drove the green the last time Mark Kinzer flowed by to take the win. Friday night at Williams Grove, Sammy didn't have much luck. He blew the motor while running in second spot, and that made it easy for Mark Kinzer to take his third win in a row in Pennsylvania. Jump across the border Saturday night, Hagerstown, Maryland. Sammy and Mark side by side. Swindell gets the lead, holds it to about halfway. This one will be decided in lap traffic. Watch the blue car. Swindell goes sliding up high and right into a box. Nowhere to go. Here comes Kinzer by to make it 4 for 4. A clean sweep of the East Coast win.
And the point standings show that Steve Kinzer is on top by just 4 over Sammy Swindell. Blaney is third, followed by Haudenschild and Andy Hillenberg. And Mark Kinzer is currently 14th in the point standings.
Well, the reason being because he started to go run some truck races earlier in the year, and when you do that, Ted Johnson takes points away from you. So he's dropped way back in the point standings.
Okay, we've been following the progress of Jason Statler all evening. He flipped in the first heat race. What's the progress, Dave? Are they going to get that thing ready for the semi?
I'd say progress is good. Last time you saw this car, it was all beat to pieces with fire extinguisher foam dripping off of it. But I'll tell you what, this bunch from San Jose, California came here to race, and to race, they had to do some work. They got it all back together. Now, they have not fired the car yet. That will wait until the push-off for the True Value last chance semifinal. But Jason Statler, thing looks pretty good. You reckon she'll run?
Yeah, I think so. My guys work real hard, and they're a good bunch of guys, and we'll find out when we get in that push-off lane.
This is supposed to be a 4-night run for you guys. You're going to slap a wing on this and do the last 3 nights as well, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we came back here for the full deal. We weren't sure if we were going to make it tonight, and we ended up making it, and here we are.
So it's a pretty good experience because, again, we reiterate, you've not seen this racetrack before. What's your first impression of Eldora Speedway?
Eyes got real big. We don't have anything like this in California. It turns are real big and carry a lot of speed here.
It's a big eyes racetrack. Here's a big guy with a racetrack. It's a race car that's back in one piece, and looks like he's ready for that last chance race.
Good. We hope he makes it, and we'll hope that he transfers into the feature race. Jason Statler, a young man who's come here from California, regular on the NARC series. That is running with the USAC boys tonight here at Eldora. So the semi-feature is next on the agenda. The cars are being prepared for that event right now. And when we come back, we will have it. And again, the 40-lap feature race is yet to come also here at Eldora Speedway. ESPN2's Thunder featuring the Stoops Freightliner Sprint Cars.
Do you have trouble seeing clearly when it rains? Is the glare from headlights unbearable? Well, it's not your wipers, it's your windshield. Introducing the all-clear Vision Blade from STP. Now you can have clear vision in the harshest weather. Vision Blade only needs to be applied about once every 6 months. It's that easy. Watch. This muddy water sticks to the glass on the untreated side of this windshield. But on the Vision Blade side, the dirt and grime just sheets away. Your view remains clear without even using your wipers. It's amazing. Vision Blade forms an invisible barrier that virtually eliminates glare from headlights. Just look at the difference. Call today and get Vision Blade from STP. Now just $14.95. So what are you waiting for? Call now.
Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-713-7711 or send $14.95 plus $4.95 shipping to the address on your screen. Ask about our special offer. For faster delivery, call 1-800-713-7711.
This weekend, enough racing to make your head spin. Here's what's up ahead this weekend on ESPN2.
Eldora Speedway, the best thing made out of dirt.
Well, there's a heck of a lot of people that would agree with that, I got to tell you.
It is some facility, as we have seen here already tonight. Well, the Stoops Freightliner Sprint Cars from the United States Auto Club that run here in the Midwest and in the three-fourths of the nation are non-winged. The USAC Western State Sprint Cars, however, run with wings, and they were in action Saturday in Bakersfield, California. The Western States point leader Rick Williams found himself in trouble early when he got upside down in his heat. He would be seen later. Number 14, Kevin Urton, beat pole sitter Brian Bullard to the front at the start of the 30-lap main event. Tommy Tarleton was running in third in turn 3 when he spun. Then Mike Gardner and Mike Faria got together, resulting in Gardner getting on his head. On the complete restart, Urton again beat Bullard into turn 1 for the top spot. This is where you'll see Williams again, upside down in turn 1. His wing was mangled, but he still had hope of maintaining the points lead. So he refired his batter number 41 and joined the tail of the field. On a lap 6 restart, Bullard finally got the best of Urton, passing him on the outside in turn 2 for the lead. Bullard hung on the remaining 24 laps to take his first ever USAC feature victory. Second place finisher Urton took the points lead, while Williams fell to second, 3 points behind Urton.
All right, thanks, Bob. Now it's my privilege to talk to another guy who's going to be doing all 4 nights here in the run-up to the historical big one. And he's also significant because Frankie Kerr has won this race last year and finished second the year before that and won it the year before that. This has got to be pretty high on your list of races to win this year, I would think.
Yeah, it starts off a big week. You know, if you can win this one, you have momentum going into the rest of the week. And one year, I actually won Thursday night also and ran in the top 5 on Friday night. So it was a good week.
You qualified pretty well. We've heard from some guys that are going to have to come through a lot of traffic. You're going to be in pretty good shape on the start of the main event, aren't you?
Yeah, our car feels pretty good. You know, we went out third from the end to qualify, had 4th quicks, and we started in rear in that heat and run up to second. So we're going pretty good, really. So
you've been fiddling with this thing, or are you leaving it alone and letting Eldora come to you for the 30-lap feature?
Well, we left it alone so far, but we're just going to fiddle a little, and hopefully that'll take us to the win.
Who do you see as the guys you got to beat? Who are you worried about tonight?
Well, Darlin's going to be tough. He goes good here. And of course, Jack Hewitt. I mean, this is his track. You know, there's a lot of good guys going here. Johnny Heidenreich looks really good tonight. It'll be between those 4.
All right, there you hear the rundown from the guy who's been first, second, and first in the last 3 runnings of this race. Good luck tonight, Frankie Kerr.
So there's the man who will try to make it another win here tonight at Eldora in the 30-lap feature race coming up soon.
Yeah, we want to say hi to Mark Casella. We know he's out there in Pennsylvania watching us. Say hello to him. Also want to wish Charlie McCann, an ex-driver who had a major surgery recently from Columbus, Ohio. Want to wish him well. And we want to offer our condolences to Janet Carter. Her husband, Lynn, had an untimely death recently, and she helps us when we go out west. We're very sad for her, and I want to wish her our best.
You're looking down the front stretch. There is turn number 4 here at Eldora. The historic racetrack built in west central Ohio. USAC has been racing here since 1962. And a lot of great names, a lot of great drivers has competed on this racetrack. Dave right now is with a second-generation driver who's doing quite well here tonight.
Yeah, the boys from Brownsburg include Billy Puterbaugh Jr., who qualified real well tonight and then kind of went to, I don't know what was going on in that heat race. Let's ask him. He ended up 4th in the heat. How come?
We started 8th in the heat, and we just tried to transfer. We didn't see for maybe going for 3rd or something and screwing up and not making the race. So we just tried to decide to stay in 3rd.
Now, what's this story I hear about you? You on the offense or the defense on the Brownsburg football team?
I play on the defense.
You're on the defense. Now, you may be wondering at home why that's significant. That's because the defense practices in the morning and the offense practice in the afternoon. Do I have that right?
Yes, you do.
So if you'd been on the offense, you might not have had time to make it over here tonight. So I guess it's a good thing you play defense, huh?
Yeah, it is.
What position?
I play middle linebacker.
You like football better or sprint cars better?
I like racing a little more than I do football.
Can you win this thing tonight?
I'd like to. I'd like to get a win underneath this car because it's a brand new car and just to help our sponsors out and help the fans that support us.
Tell me about what it's like following in the footsteps of Dad. Is it, do you feel like you got big shoes to fill and all that? Is this something you always wanted to do?
Well, we started out in go-karts and he hadn't put a lot of pressure on me, but when he sees me at a racetrack and I screw up, he hounds on me a little bit, but that's okay.
How about if you miss a tackle? Does he yell at you?
So usually he's busy and he don't come to the football games, but when he does come to the football games and I do something wrong, he gets me pretty good.
All right, do it all right tonight. Go win this thing, all right?
I'd like to.
All right, that's Billy Puterbaugh Jr., senior in high school, Brownsburg, playing on the football team and doing a little sprint car racing in his spare time.
Now, I want to ask the other dad of the group gathered here tonight, do you yell at Robbie when he does something wrong in a race?
Well, you try not to. I think if you watch any families in this sport, there's a little bit of that sort of thing that goes on. But you try to let them be their own person. You know, they've got to do what they think is best, and you've got to let them kind of do their own thing. And I think that's kind of the philosophy you have to have. But I've always said that this is very much a family sport, and I still believe that it is. And it's one of the best ways for fathers and sons and daughters as well to get to know each other and participate together.
Very true. Indiana Sprint we concluded a week or so ago, and J.J. Yaley was certainly one of the stars of that. There is J.J. as he's getting set for the semi-feature here tonight. J.J. walked off with the championship in Indiana Sprint Week. Now the winners were Brian Tyler at Lawrenceburg. J.J. won twice in Kokomo and in Terre Haute. Kevin Doty was the winner in North Vernon. Brad Fox took home the checkered flag in Bloomington, Bill Rose at Paragon, and Jack Hewitt in the final race at Lincoln Park. But J.J. Yaley came from Phoenix, Arizona, and won Indiana Sprint Week for 1997.
Well, he's been back here most of the summer. He had an advantage on the rest of the guys that came back for Speed Week because he had run most of those racetracks prior to going there. A lot of the guys that came back there hadn't run any of the racetracks this summer, especially. And, you know, it's a big advantage when you go there a couple of times. That's the reason Hewitt has such a big advantage when he comes to Eldora. He knows what the racetrack is going to do as much as anything else, and that's what really helps him.
All right, let's check the lineup of this semi-feature. On the pole will be Jason Statler. There you see him. His car is fixed and fired. Yaley will be on the outside of row 1. Second row will be Terry Pletch in car number 29 and Jim Stinson in number 60. In the third row will be Dean Billings in 96 and Charlie Baker in the 1C. In the fourth row, Brian Hayden in 2H and Tim Cox in 21. The fifth row, Eric Gordon in 34 and Robbie Rice in 22R. Row number 6, Corey Smith in car 66 and Kent Christian. The seventh row, Dave Pepperack in 177 and Aaron Mosley in 27. And the eighth and final row, Greg Stevens in car number 7 and Roger Shadon in car 15.
One lap to go next time around. Remember, the top 6 transfer, so there's only 6 out of these guys that are going to make it. Some of these guys got a long way to go back there near the back of the field. Pepperack and Greg Stevens and Aaron Mosley, all starting back there near the back, are going to have a long, long road to hoe.
Yes, indeed they are. Let's see how things go here in this semi-feature event at Eldora.
This racetrack has dried out quite significantly since we've had all these red flags and so forth. There's nothing much to get a hold of on the bottom of the racetrack. The start's going to be pretty important for these guys.
And into the corner they go, and out of the corner comes J.J. Yaley with the lead, as behind him they're 3 abreast, 3 wide going down. Oh, we have a car flipping down the backstretch, another flip. This is the 9th one of the evening, and the car has come to rest right behind one of the haulers here, and it's Dave Pepperack.
Wow, he got side for side off of turn number 2. You can see there the front wheels gone off of the race cars. He sits there in the car. The rest of the workers getting up there to him.
Well, it's flip number 9 of the evening. We told you earlier that the all-time record is 11, and that was back in 1981 at the Hut 100 and also in 1981 at the Turkey Night Grand Prix. So this evening here at Eldora is near a record in terms of number of flips.
Well, I tell you what, he was barrel rolling side for side down that back straightaway when we first noticed what was happening, and it looked like it went over pretty bad.
All right, we have the just the final flip or two as off of corner number 2 he comes, and there you can see that the car just literally flies apart, and the 77 comes to rest.
Yeah, he had already been over 2 or 3 times by that time, and he was just barreling side by side down the back straightaway. So once again, all the medics are there having a look at him. I did see him moving around in there a little bit. His conscious, but that's about all we can tell you at this point.
Well, he owns 1 career USAC sprint car win. That was here at Eldora, and it was in 1983, and it was televised on ABC's Wide World of Sports. He beat out Tom Bigelow and led every lap of that race.
Yeah, I remember he was a pretty young guy at that point.
Yeah.
He was really a huge victory for his career, and unfortunately hasn't been able to repeat that since.
Isn't it funny how sometimes you can come here and the evening will go off without a hitch, and then other nights like tonight, we can't get through hardly one single race without a major accident.
Yeah, we've been here, well, we were here last year, and there was hardly any problems whatsoever. And tonight we come in, there's just one crash after another. And of course, you have to be very careful. You have to take your time and get these guys out of the car and make sure that they're okay. So there's not much you can do when things like this happen.
Dave Paparak, we understand, is out of the car and appears to be okay, but we are not going to be able to talk with him at least for a while as he gets his facilities back.
Yeah, I imagine his bell is rung pretty good at this point, and they're probably going to take a look at him, put him in the ambulance, maybe not take him away, but at least put him in that ambulance to let him put his thoughts back together.
One time, Dave had thoughts of racing in the Indy 500 back in '83, the same year that he won that televised sprint car race. He participated in rookie orientation at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but of course has never raced there.
Yeah, he's been racing for a long time. He has a school that he has down there in Terre Haute as a driving school, and he runs that part of the time. But he's got a new sponsor, Turbines Incorporated, this year. They've put a lot of money into this operation, and he's been running pretty well this year. Just tough break here tonight.
So we are once again under red here at Eldora because of Dave Paparak's flip. There he is walking into the ambulance, so we know that he is not seriously injured, but again, he may be taken to a local hospital to be checked over. Dave, what's the latest down there?
Dave, the medical crew all gathered around real quickly, and they were ready with all the neck collar and back brace and all the rest of that. He kind of shook his head and climbed out of the car and said, "Nah, I don't want any of that." Sat down on the left rear and told us that he thought he got bumped. He said the car got a little sideways and he thought somebody bumped him, and that was what triggered the flip. And then the medical people said, "Come on, let's go over here and get you in the ambulance." He's complaining of a little neck pain. They don't think it's anything serious, but they're going to go check him out a little further. He got his bell rung pretty well, but he was grinning, so I think he's okay.
Well, let's hope so. Well, we'll have to get this car off the racetrack now, and as you can see, we have two ambulances on hand here, so if this one has to go to the hospital, which apparently it will, we've still got one in reserve that will allow us to get this race going before too much longer. At Eldora Speedway, the red is out now in the semi-feature event. Back with more in just a moment.
What would you give to be more confident? What would you give for the knowledge it takes to move with certainty through every business day?
Just $3.90 a week brings you the Wall Street Journal. Our personal finance guide and decision maker software is free with your paid 10-week subscription. Call now, 800-248-1300. That's 800-248-1300 for the Wall Street Journal.
So you're building that deck with Time Life to help you along. You might want to add some built-in benches, page 50. How about a brick patio, guaranteed weed-proof, and a lot easier on your checkbook than some contractor would be.
Now with Home Repair, you get 2 books for $2. Order decks, porches, and patios for just $1.99 and get kitchens free.
Those new countertops sure look good, and doing it yourself probably saved a bundle. So you could do that built-in recycling bin she wanted. Step by step, Time Life makes it easy.
With Home Repair, you get professional results at do-it-yourself prices. Use your credit card to order decks for just $1.99 and get kitchens free.
Home Repair makes you a real hero around the house. So why don't you give them a call? They'd probably love to hear from you.
Call 1-800-405-5522. Use your credit card to order decks, porches, and patios, and you'll get kitchens free. Or send check or money order for $1.99 plus $3.95 shipping to the address on your screen.
There's a Dave Paparak car on the hook, headed back for the pit area, and the cars are being pushed off for the resumption of this semi-feature event here at Eldora. Well, just down the road at Mid-Ohio, the Kart PPG Series is in action this weekend, and pole qualifying will be here on the Deuce Saturday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. And then on Sunday on ABC, it's the Miller 200 as the PPG Series takes to the road course at Mid-Ohio, Sunday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time over on ABC. Well, there's Mr. Rice as the push truck gets to the back of him, and he will be off and running here in a moment.
Well, you saw them earlier measuring the stagger. They got at least one lap out there. They did go in. Some of the guys made some adjustments. You can do that under the yellow flags. So some of them have changed things. There's Dave Pepperack sitting in the ambulance talking to the doctors, and he's saying, yes, I know it's Wednesday night. Yes, I know it's dark outside, and I want to get the heck out of here.
Well, looks like he's going to be released from the doctor's care after answering some questions probably correctly. There's a guy that, as you said, has been around a long, long time, and it was tough to see him tumbling down the backstretch. Dave?
Well, I saw him asking you an awful lot of questions in there. Did you get all the answers right, Dave?
Well, on most of they let me out, you know, so apparently I did.
Tell me what happened.
Well, I really don't know for sure. We were, you know, just first lap, we were coming off of 2, and I think somebody must have got into the back of me and got the car turned sideways, and I felt I could drive out of it, but then it just felt like they kept riding the car, and the next thing I knew, she was going over, and at this place, you usually take a pretty good spill when that happens.
Where do you hurt, real quick?
Well, seems like all the old places come back, but my neck and back's a little sore, but I just want to tell Jim Mills, the guy that owns this thing, we'll get her back together.
Okay, man, he's going to be okay, and we go green.
The semi-feature goes once again, and just like last time, J.J. Yaley from the outside of the front row jumps into the lead down the backstretch.
Look at that gaggle of cars in behind him. Cars going everywhere, high, low, all over the racetrack, trying to find a way to get around. Right now, Statler's hanging on to second spot, but everybody behind that's pretty much a jump ball.
Fletch is running in third position. As they come off of corner number 2, they all get jammed up, rolling down the backstretch. They're wheel to wheel, side by side, all the way back through the field.
Well, Statler's very, very loose coming off the corner. He's hanging the tail way out there, but he just doesn't give anybody there. He gave somebody enough room to get around the outside. Can't tell.
That's Terry Pletch that just took over second position. And look at this, 3 wide again down the backstretch. Oh, and a car sideways a little bit.
That's Stinson that got together with Statler. Both of those, 2 cars get hooked up going down the front straightaway. And boy, this racetrack is pretty slick. Everybody just really beating on Statler as he obviously did not have that car set up very well after that crash. He's done everything that he can do, but it's just not going, getting off the corners very well at all.
We're watching 6th on back here, so these cars are fighting for transfer positions. And up comes Brian Hayden through the group there in the 2H car. And oh, we got 2 cars coming together over in turn 3, but luckily nothing else occurred. That was, of course, Statler, and that time he got together with, who was it?
That's Greg Stevens, I think, in the 7th car. And Stevens now seems like he followed him all the way around the racetrack and just hung him up down there on the bottom. Robbie Rice went around on the outside. They got a long way to go to transfer into this feature event.
Dean Billings is running in the 6th position at the moment, and J.J. Yaley has just ran off and hidden from everybody. He's got a full straightaway advantage on the rest of the field, and so Yaley has no problem. Look at the huge lead he's got over 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and on back.
Well, obviously, they've done a lot of work on that race car. He wasn't handling all that well in the heat race. They went in there and checked it all out, did a lot of work on it. That baby's running a whole bunch better right now, so he's still got a big battle back here in the back.
On board with Yaley as he negotiates the 1st and 2nd turns, now down the backstretch, and Tim Cox has moved into 6th position and the transfer spot.
Well, Cox now hangs on to that 6th final transfer spot a little farther back. These guys are battling, trying, well, that's actually 4th, 5th, or 3rd, 4th, and 5th right there as these guys are battling. That's Charlie down there in the 1C car trying to get around the 29 car Terry Pletch.
Yep. Pletch and Baker. There goes Baker to the bottom side of the racetrack.
Terry Pletch gets sideways right in the middle of the racetrack.
Look out. Tim Cox bumps him.
Comes along. Now somebody's upside down.
Oh, my gosh. And other cars spin around.
Terry Pletch got up there, got sideways right in the middle of the groove of the racetrack. And unfortunately, a lot of the other guys could not miss him. That was Tim Cox that came around first and gathered him up.
And that was Aaron Mosley that flipped there as the cars got stopped over in turn number 3. So Mosley is being added to the list of those who are on their head tonight at Eldora.
Well, that's
wow.
That was a tough race. Brian Hayden is in that miss. Shadon is in that crash. So a lot of guys. And that's Tim Cox walking away there very dejectedly. As he just barely. Terry Pletch actually started to get down off the racetrack, roll down off the racetrack. He barely caught him as he went around. And when he caught him, then they had the whole top half of the racetrack blocked. Nobody had any place to go.
Take a look at it again. This is just a bunch of drivers fighting for the same spot on the racetrack and trying to move up into a position that'll get them into the feature race. As Tim Cox walks back to the pit area, obviously he is okay. Here's the replay now.
Let's take a look. Terry Pletch up on the high side. He just runs in there. He's been running pretty good. That's Charlie Baker on the inside. And he just gets her in there sideways, gets her crossed up, and stops her right up against the fence. And that is the fastest part of the racetrack. He's sliding down a little bit. Tim Cox tried to miss him. He was already set, though. Now then the whole top half of the racetrack goes. Brian Hayden gets in there, and Mosley gets into the fence trying to miss him. And Robbie Rice kind of slows down and sneaks by on the outside. Shadon comes up there. He runs over another car, and they both get crashed. So the racetrack was pretty well blocked.
It certainly was. What a mess. Here's another look at it. Watch Pletch up high on the racetrack and just getting sideways and then stopping right at the high side of the racetrack.
He almost stopped on the top. He slid down just a little bit, but Cox just didn't have quite enough room to get through. Then comes along Brian Hayden. Mosley, they gets upside down. Rice gets through there, but a couple of other cars back there running got a little bit sideways and into each other. I think that's Eric.
That's a Statler up there on the right side of your screen.
Oh, is it? That's
yeah.
Statler. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Okay, one more look here.
Well, once again, he's just getting. See, the right rear is right in the middle of the black stuff. That's the very slick part of the racetrack. He just got in a little bit low, got her sideways. Got up there, parked it against the fence. Everybody else kind of looking for a way around. But if you're already committed to the top, which Tim Cox was, there was absolutely nothing he could do. Brian Hayden is up there too. He almost missed it, but he got into Cox, and Mosley got into the fence, got upside down. Then Statler comes along and spins, and Shadon just barely keeps his front end and gets into the mess too. So
wow,
it was lots, 2, 4, 6 cars there, all tangled up in this mess, and at least 4 of them are badly hurt.
Dave is standing by with Mosley.
All the drivers are okay. In fact, a couple of them are trying to climb back in their cars here. Tim Cox departed the scene in a big hurry and very unhappy. Aaron Mosley is standing up here. He got upside down, but appears to be, well, other than a little grumpy, maybe none the worse for wear. What happened?
They had a couple of cars up against the wall, and I tried to get around them, but I just picked the wrong line and got upside down.
No place to go, but you look to be in one piece and okay. You heard it all?
No, I feel fine. I've been through a lot worse. I just feel bad for Doug Jones and Rex Jones, who's come out and helped me this year. But we'll get it back. We'll be ready.
It doesn't look like Aaron Mosley's going to be able to make this restart, although, as we said, Hayden is back in his car and looks like he's going to be ready to give it another try here.
Mosley's car owner is Doug Jones, a Major League Baseball relief pitcher, so it's sort of baseball night here tonight with the Chris Hoyle's car also in the competition. There is the 29 car belonging to Terry Pletch on the hook.
Yeah, he got clipped in the back end pretty bad, so he's probably going to have to go in and do some repair work on that. Of course, Mosley got upside down. They've got some pieces on there that they're going to have to go in and fix. Hayden, although he caught the front end a pretty good lick, he's at least back in his race car and thinks he can get restarted. Shadon probably didn't get hurt too badly, but a couple of those cars were pretty well damaged. You can see the steering arm on that car of Aaron Mosley's is completely bent backwards, so the steering's all messed up on that car.
Well, Terry Pletch was running 3rd and Tim Cox was running 6th, so those 2 guys are out of it right now. Yaley is the leader of the race. Eric Gordon is 2nd, followed by Baker, Stenson, Stevens, and Rice. And watch J.J. Yaley in his close call with a tow truck that is going to the scene of the crash.
Oops. Well, you kind of laugh, but I saw a tow truck get T-boned down at Terre Haute, Indiana about a year ago, and it completely destroyed both the race car and the push truck. That would not be too funny if you'd have pulled out there and got hit.
That's for sure. But all is well there, and apparently all is well with the drivers involved in that incident. So let's check once again the top 5 here after 9 of the 12 laps. It's Yaley the leader, Gordon, Baker, Stinson, and Billings. And we now change the order and see that Greg Stevens is in 6th position and Robbie Rice is in 7th. So Robbie's got one more position to pick up in order for him to make it into the feature race.
Yeah, it looks like Statler's going to try to get back going again. He probably missed the setup quite a ways. He started in the front row. He'd worked his way back to about 7th or 8th spot. He was having a heck of a time hanging on that race car. Obviously, they missed something while they were thrashing. They did a heck of a job just to get that thing back together, don't get me wrong, but obviously didn't have enough time to put the setup on it quite right for this semi-main.
All right, Stadler getting strapped back in the car, though, and he'll be resuming the race here in just a minute. Tony Elliott down there at the bottom of your screen. He's already made the feature. He's assessing the situation out there in between turns 3 and 4. It's been a night of flips here at Eldora, and we've still got the semi and the feature to go.
To most people, this is just a uniform. But to me, it's something more. Every time I put it on, it makes me feel better and stronger than I was yesterday. When I'm in this uniform, I know no limits. You gotta see the pride in my mom's eyes, or the way my friends look up to me. But none of that matches the satisfaction I feel inside. That's the pride of being a soldier in the U.S. Army.
Interested in wearing this uniform? Then now is the best time to call this toll-free number, because we've got new incentives that make joining more rewarding than ever. Now you can earn up to $40,000 for college. Or if you have college loans, we'll help you pay back up to $65,000. Or you may qualify for an enlistment bonus of up to $12,000. Ready to wear this uniform? Call now for more information. There's no obligation. Call today. Find out how the Army can bring out the best
of what's inside you.
You. Be all you can be.
ESPN2's Thunder from Eldora Speedway, Rossburg, Ohio, being brought to you by Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. Dave Despain is with Tim Cox.
Hey, when I was headed for that crash, I met Tim Cox going the other way. You didn't look like you wanted to stop and talk then, but now you got a smile on your face. What happened out there?
You could see the track was starting to get a little slick down there, and Terry Plutch got a little hot and heavy and spun around, and he started sliding down the track, and he just, it's like he hesitated when I was coming up, and instead of kept going down the track, we come around, tagged him, spun around, and then I seen everybody coming at it, just piled on us, and there was nothing you could do, just hang on for the ride.
What was the hardest hit you took there?
I think the one at 27 car landed on the top of the back of us.
You okay?
Yeah, I got a little bit of a headache, but we're fine. The car looks like it's in good shape. We'll have it ready to go for next weekend.
Who you reckon's the guy to beat out here tonight now? I mean, you're not in it. Who's going to win it?
Well, these all-star guys are hard to beat. I mean, like Frankie Kerr, he's pretty good. Johnny Heidenreich, they got a good spot. The top 6 guys probably, whoever starts up front probably is going to win it today.
Go get him next week.
Yep, thanks a lot.
All right, that's Tim Cox. Car's all beat up. He's out of it for tonight.
And you can see the cars are being pushed off now. There is Stinson's car being restarted. He will fall into the 4th position for the restart.
There's Shadon. That's he was in that crash, and you can see the left rear is very low. That might be by design, though. They might just be running that low. Sometimes they run the air pressure in the left rear tires on these race cars as low as 2 or 3 pounds, and they look very flat. They don't look like they should be doing that, but they have a beadlock wheel on them that kind of holds the tire in place so it doesn't roll off the rim, and so it doesn't slip on the rim. And so you can run them very, very low. The right rear tires on a slick racetrack like this, they might get down to 8 or 7 pounds. Some guys, depends on how brave you are and how much you want to roll under.
We talk with Aaron Mosley, whose car owner is baseball pitcher Doug Jones. Now here's the other driver whose car is owned by a professional baseball player.
And that would be Gus Wasson. And the last time we got a chance to talk to him, it was at Winchester, and the car was broken and they couldn't get the parts to fix it. And you were just kind of out there, you know, putting in time. But tonight, what do you think? You got a shot at this thing?
I don't know. We're going to be starting pretty far back. I tried to take Earl's wall down in qualifying, but I'm going to have to start pretty far back, but you never know. As the track's slicking off, it's getting pretty racy. Everybody's got a shot.
You like this kind of racetrack?
Yeah, I like this. I love Earl's place here. I love doing slide jobs and getting up by the fence. It's a lot of fun.
We're used to seeing you with the wing. How much different is it driving a race car without a wing?
Well, the cars are a lot looser. They ain't glued to the track quite as well, and that's pretty much the basic deal. And you gotta be more finesse on the gas pedal, and with a wing on, you can flat-foot it around here, and you kind of gotta be a little easy on the gas pedal without a wing.
You here for all 4 nights?
Oh yeah, we're gonna try to run all 4 nights if we can hold everything together.
Well, Earl said he wasn't mad at you for trying to knock his wall down, so you're okay there.
Well, I appreciate that, Earl.
All right, that's Gus Wasson. We're just about ready to go back to green.
Yeah, the one more lap to go signal has already been given, so when the cars come around this time, we'll get a resumption of this event.
Well, let's see if the guys worked on their cars, see if they've changed anything, got the race cars hooked up any tighter to the racetracks right now. As you can see right now, J.J. Yaley jumps out of lead, but look at on the bottom side, Eric Gordon tries to get around him. Just not enough room down there, and Yaley pulls back out in front.
Yeah, but Gordon is not letting him get away. As a matter of fact, there you can see Eric Gordon sliding right down almost beside him. So Gordon has given Yaley a nice run here after in the early part of the race, Yaley just ran off and left everybody. Less than 2 laps to go, and Eric's doing a fine job.
Yeah, obviously Eric Gordon worked on the race car and got that thing hooked up a whole lot better because he's really running a whole bunch better now than he was earlier. Stinson hanging on right back there too. Yaley just not pulling away from anybody like he did earlier.
Oh, look out. He may have the lead here. Eric Gordon may have the lead. Pulls a nice slide job off of turn number 2, gets the lead, and by golly, Eric Gordon is going to win the semi-feature with Yaley in 2nd position, then Stinson, Baker, Billings, and Hayden.
Well, Eric Gordon did a nice job. He got that race car hooked up right in the middle of the racetrack. They changed it on the yellow or the red flag. Got it hooked up so he didn't have to run right up around the top. And obviously, whatever they did to that race car certainly worked because he was pretty quick right around the middle of the racetrack.
So Shadon, Rice, and Stevens are the drivers who do not make it into the feature race. And Robbie will have to wait another time to run again here at Eldora. But at least Dad won't have the...
the anxiety of going through it,
right? Eric Gordon wins the semi-feature here. And now, when we come back from commercial, we'll talk with him. The 30-lap main event is coming up before too long. We're at Eldora Speedway, Rossburg, Ohio, for Thunder.
There's no doubt about it. Solid antiperspirants are a great way to keep you dry. This leading clear won't keep you quite as dry, but it's clear. To get a better kind of dry, you need the best combination of both. That's new Sure Clear Dry. Sure Clear Dry is a whole new kind of antiperspirant with a revolutionary new formula that gives you the outstanding dryness protection of a solid, yet it glides on this clear. We're sure it's a better way to be dry, but draw your own conclusions. New Sure Clear Dry. It's a surer way to be dry.
Step 1. Have a plan for business, and then carry it out.
How's 4 o'clock, sir? 4 o'clock's good for me. I'll see you then.
Here. Appreciate you coming up.
Thanks.
Introducing used vehicles reconditioned, warranted, and ready for life. GM certified.
Eric Gordon, J.J. Yaley, Jim Stinson, Charlie Baker, and Dean Billings, the top 5 here in this semi-feature. The top 6 transferring to the main event. Here's Dave.
And the True Value Trophy is going to go to Eric Gordon. It's just like old times. We used to get to talk to you at these things a lot. We haven't so much anymore. Everybody's wondering, what'd you do to that thing on a red flag?
I just let it cool down. It got up over 220 degrees, and John Baker and Bill came out, and I told them to raise the car a little bit. The car's running really well. We just have a little old steel motor in that compared to all these heavy hitters with a lot of money. And John called me up and said, you want to have some fun? And I wanted to come here and do well for my dad, who's in a hospital tonight. And he's been fighting heart problems. And it's been pretty tough 2 weeks. I also want to say hi to my daughter and my wife back home and all the rest of the family. And I told my dad I'd do the best I could, and I'm trying.
I'll tell you what, for a low-rent race car, that thing made a heck of a pass for the lead. Folks going to take a look at it at home. You tell me about it. Yaley looked like he was pretty well hooked up. You just blew him off.
Well, I knew he had a really strong motor because he had all the quick times during the speed weeks. A lot of those West Coast guys have strong motors. But when Eldora gets slick, strong motors not necessarily the best thing to have. And John Baker, he may have a steel motor, but he has got one excellent race car. And he came out and made a little change on it. We let it cool down, and he just told me to have fun. So I decided I'd have fun and try and put a pass on JJ so I could talk to you on TV.
Hey, there you go. Get a chance to say hi to Dad in the hospital. Talk to me about the feature. How well can you do with that race car tonight?
A lot of it's going to depend on Earl. I can see he's already got the keys to the water truck and started putting water down. So everybody's tightened their car up. Now they're going to have to go back and loosen them up a little bit, or else you'll get a push the first 10 laps. This deal's such a luck deal as far as setup goes because of the track getting watered like this at the last second. It always makes it interesting. I'm going to start way back. The car's a good handling car, and I'm sure John's going to put a setup on it. We'll try and take her as far forward as we can.
Okay, man, I'll let you go. Congratulations. Nice run.
Thank you very much.
That is Eric Gordon, and he has won the True Value Last Chance semifinal. Now the water truck going to make her a little slippery out there as we get set for the 30-lap, $4,000 to win main event.
I imagine some videotape we have here from an onboard of J.J. Yaley will be very interesting to see how Eric Gordon was able to slide under him there in the closing stages of that race. Let's watch it.
Well, you can see that Yaley's up on the cushion. He's up at the top. That's supposed to be the fast way around this place. So Gordon just goes down to the inside. He goes down to that middle groove where there's just a hair of moisture. You can see it's a little bit dark down there. And he just went right on by him going in. Now Yaley moves down to that same groove to see if he can find that little bit of moisture that Gordon found, and he couldn't do it. Gordon stayed right down there in the middle of the racetrack and just pulled away.
And that was the checkered flag, and that was the end of the semi-feature with Gordon winning over J.J. Yaley. Well, now, as we saw, the water has been put down on the racetrack. Now, what problems, if any, or what changes will we see because of this?
Well, this is going to tighten the racetrack up, at least for the first 4, 5, or 6 laps. It's going to give the guys in the back of the race, the back starting positions, a chance to move up very quickly. Now, all those guys, a lot of them are going to take that lower groove because there is going to be some moisture down there. But when you get 22 cars out there and half of them are running down there in the middle of the racetrack, that's going to go away very quickly. So you're going to have to be aware that if you set the race car up for the last half of the race and set it up tight, then you're probably not going to be real good on that bottom the first couple of laps. You might have to go up and run the top. But I think a lot of guys are going to take their chances and try to gain as many spots as they can the first 5, 6, 7 laps, and then settle for what they can take after that.
And of course, every time we put water down on the racetrack, we have to send the push trucks out there to work the water in so that it isn't terribly slippery. There is a look at Derek Davidson.
Derek Davidson, of course, he's a young guy that's done very, very well this year. Doesn't have a lot of pavement experience. I think he's running 3rd in the point standings right now. He's been going down to New Zealand and running. He's got a bunch of his friends from New Zealand that came here to watch him run. As a matter of fact, this weekend, they came up here just to watch he and some of the other guys have gone down there for years and years. Raced. Tony Elliott's gone down there before. I think Dave Darland's gone down there and raced before. So a lot of these guys have been down there and raced, and now then the fans, some of their fans are paying them back by coming up here to watch them race.
And now Dave has the all-time winningest driver here at this racetrack.
All-time king of this racetrack with feature wins and tied for 4th on the all-time USAC feature victory list with 40. Who else but Jack Hewitt? He knows this place inside and out. What's this water going to do to this racetrack?
Nothing. You know, Hamp's got the car dialed in. He's got our Mercury set up for the hard dry slick track, and it's going to take a couple laps, you know. But our Mercury's come good.
Think you can get to the front win this thing?
Well, we only started 11, so we're halfway.
You better luck than last year. You're going to keep all the parts on the inside, right?
That's our plan.
Now, I want to ask you, I don't know if you remember this. Somebody told me your favorite win here was 1988, the Silver Crown car, some guy named Larry Rice. I don't know. Is there any truth to that? What's the story there?
Yeah, we had a killer race, Steve Butler and Larry and I. And Larry's snookered me coming out of 4 here. And you got to learn something from these guys. Anyways, he passed me on the outside, and I ran over the wheels, spun out. and we kept it going somehow. We lucked out, and we come back to beat him and Steve.
All right, man. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to let folks, while you're getting ready to go win the main event, we're going to let folks at home look at that and make sure Rice has got his story straight about exactly what happened. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, that's Jack Hewitt strapping in, getting ready to go to work, looking for USAC win number 41.
1988, September 25th. Rice, is that you in 5?
That was me in the 5 car. I had a real
man,
good...
you ran right into him.
I didn't run into him. He ran into me. But believe me, when he came back and blew by Steve Butler, and I was the most surprised guy on the racetrack. But he did a heck of a job, and as they say, he whooped us.
And what a great guy Jack Hewitt is. He's been racing about as long as anybody else around this area, and doesn't have an ego of any kind. He just goes out and drives race cars and does it as hard as anybody I've ever known.
Well, he's got this saying. He says, I ride them high because I'm not afraid to die. And I don't know, he says that with a lot of jest, but he does like the high groove around this racetrack. He doesn't very often go to the bottom. But you heard him say that water is not going to do much to the racetrack. It's going to change it for the first 3 or 4 or 5 laps, maybe, give that bottom groove some hope for that first part of the race. But in the end, it's going to be the top that's going to win.
There you can see how Hewitt's most recent victory at Putnamville moved him into a tie with Gary Bettenhausen, 4th on the all-time USAC sprint car win list, with Tom Bigelow at the top of that chart.
Yeah, Gary Bettenhausen, of course, Pancho Carter won a lot of races at this racetrack, both of them big favorites, but Hewitt is the old guard here, the one that's still running. There's Kevin Thomas, a guy who's won a lot of races all over the country, but he is more of a short track specialist. He runs very well here at Eldora. He starts a long way back, and he's going to be one of the guys who got the Winning Spirit Award tonight. He and Rusty McClure, they'll be the 2 slowest qualifiers that made tonight's feature race, so they'll get $250 from Wins for the Winning Spirit Award.
Well, the SCRA is the other wingless series, and it was in action this past weekend in Hanford, California, with Richard the Gasman Griffith and Ron Schumann in a very tight points battle.
Mike English was on the pole of the 30-lap feature and led the field into turn 1, followed by the SCRA points leader, Griffin. On lap 6, Rip Williams was trying to get past the Gasman when they touched wheels, sending Griffin flipping into the darkness. When the green waved again, Williams stuck his number 3 to the bottom in turn 1 and motored past English to go in front. Rip was unchallenged until lap 24, when Ron Schumann caught up with him and pulled alongside. But the Flying Shoe did not have enough muscle to take away the lead. English was running 4th when he lost power. Eddie Patterson Jr. couldn't miss him, hopped on his left rear, but never got upside down. When the checkered flag fell, Williams picked up his 3rd straight SCRA victory, while Schumann, who came across the line 2nd, picked up enough points to take the SCRA championship lead over Griffin.
Meanwhile, one of the West Coast stars back here to try to win the feature tonight is J.J. Yaley. You saw him carrying the onboard camera. I would tell you that this is a thrash because they had about 10 changes to make on this car, but hey, J.J. comes from the West Coast, so like, this is a thrash dude. Let me see if I can get in here and get a word with him without getting in the way of the crew. J.J., you made a huge change in that car between the heat race and that semi-feature. The thing was behaving a whole lot better. What are you changing here for the main?
Yeah, the Jack Rich race car's a little loose right now. You know, the heat race we were terribly off, and we changed a lot of things. We just didn't change enough. You know, right now we don't have a lot of time, but we've changed a couple more things to tighten the car up and let the car roll so the action die-cast car can go to the front.
Got a chance of winning the thing?
Stranger things have happened here, you know. Normally you have to run around the top to be fast here, and it seems like the middle's the place to be right now, so we'll just give it our best and see what happens.
Tell you what, this guy's already won Indiana Sprint Week. He won the championship in that deal, and despite running only 15 races this year in the sprint division, he's 15th in the points. They're or 6th, I should say. 15 races, 6th in the points. They're thrashing. It looks like they pretty well got her buttoned up, and he's going to put his hat on and go to work.
And Yaley was the 8th fastest qualifier this evening. He will start 7th tonight on the inside of row number 4. And when we come back, we will have the complete 22-car starting lineup for you, and we'll get the green flag on this thing before too long at Eldora. Stay with us.
I love working here. It's exciting, feeling like we're changing things for the better. At Zurich Direct, there are no surprises. You call us and we give you a free quote on high-quality term life insurance with no strings attached. And these rates are up to 70% less than what some other insurers charge. I mean, why pay more than you have to?
Hi, thank you for calling Zurich Direct. This is Wendy. How may I help you?
It really is simple.
Well, Mr. Madden, you're 42 in good health and you don't smoke? That's great. A 10-year, $250,000 policy is just $32 a month, and your rate is guaranteed.
Everybody has questions when they call in. They want to know they're doing business with the right company. You'd be amazed how many letters we get from people just saying thanks.
Well, you can choose a 5, 10, 15, or 20.
Coverage can start in just a few
Sure, I
weeks.
can help you with that. I'll just...
Absolutely. I think everyone should call Zurich Direct. But then again, I'm probably a little partial.
Zurich Direct, a unit of Zurich Kemper Life. The way life should be.
Well, let's get some thank yous out of the way before we get to the feature. First of all, thank you to CarQuest Auto Parts for our cage cam. For your nearest CarQuest Auto Parts store, dial 1-800-492-PART. And a tip of the Stetson also to Airworks, and especially Dick Kagi for providing the lift that allows our onboard camera signal to be generated to you there in your living room.
And the gentleman pointing that little stick there is the guy that makes that all work. If he doesn't point it in the right direction, it can't. That's Rod Grizel.
Yeah, and he looks cold up there, and as we said earlier, it is unseasonably cold here in Indiana and in western Ohio. I mean, we had, 90-degree temperatures for 4 or 5 days, and now we're experiencing record cold during the evening.
That's Gus Wasson we were riding on board with right there. Take a look over his top of his hat towards the cars in front of him. He should give us a pretty good view because he starts back in the pack a little ways. And of course, so does Jack Hewitt. He starts back in 11th spot. So
Kevin Huntley will be going for his 3rd straight USAC sprint car win here at Eldora. They've raced here twice this year. Kevin has won both of them.
Well, he starts in 20th position, and if he can win that from back there, which I believe he's capable of, it's going to be a heck of a job. It's a long, long way to go on a racetrack like this. He's going to be right up at the top, waiting for guys to go to the bottom and try to smoke around him, I can guarantee you. He and Jack Hewitt both like that top groove, and there's going to be a lot of other guys that are going to go to the bottom and stay down there too long once it starts to slick up. It'll work for a few laps, but I believe in the long run, the top's going to be the place to be.
Since 1995, here's a look at the winners here at Eldora. Huntley 2, Sills, Kerr, Stewart, Reed, and Doty have all taken the checkered flag first here at this facility. And by the way, Kevin Huntley set a new speed record for 30 laps of competition in March here at this racetrack. And of course, we've already had a 1-lap record set tonight by Johnny Heidenreich. Maybe we can set a 30-lap record in the feature. Here's the lineup. Brian Tyler and Byron Reed are on row number 1. Second row, Frankie Kerr, winner last year, and Dave Darlin. Third row, Billy Puterbaugh Jr. and Johnny Heidenreich. Fourth row, J.J. Yaley and Tony Elliott. Row number 5, Bill Rose and Jim Stinson. Sixth row, Jack Hewitt and Dean Billings. In row number 7, John Stanbro and Charlie Baker. The 8th row, Derek Davidson and Brian Hayden. Todd Kane and Eric Gordon make up row number 9. Gus Wasson and Kevin Huntley are in the 10th row, and back in row number 11, Kevin Thomas and Rusty McClure. So we've got some really big-name drivers, namely Kevin Huntley and Kevin Thomas, in the last 2 rows.
We're riding along with Jack Hewitt. He starts back in 11th, inside of row number 6. He's going to have a ways to go. And the thing is, you've got so many good race cars starting up near the front. Tyler and Reed, Kerr and Darlin, Puterbaugh and Heidenreich. Those guys the fastest 6. So it's going to be very difficult. The whole key is to get the race car set up. A lot of these guys that don't run here a lot are going to be fooled by the water that was put on there, as Jack said. That water is going to go away very, very quickly. It's going to be fast for a few laps, but you better set it up for the long haul. 30 laps is a long way here at Eldora.
Beautiful field of cars getting set for 30 laps of competition. That's Rusty McClure there in the yellow 09, dropping into the tail of the field. He will start in 22nd position, despite the fact that he was the winner of heat race number 4.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Bill Rose. He won his first ever USAC National Feature just last week. He's been beating the bushes for a long, long time. He didn't run the first part of this season, only came out about a month ago. but boy, he's been fast from the get-go. He's been very, very quick in that race car. And I think that this is probably the best season that he's ever had. Not only the win, but he's been running up front in some of the other races.
He has also won 2 races at Gas City. That track runs non-sanctioned events, and won at Putnamville. And he finished 6th in the point standings in the 1996 USAC Sprint Car Series. The siren you heard just a minute ago was from that pace car that has pulled off the racetrack. The pace truck has also gotten to the infield, and we are set to go 30 laps of racing here at Eldora. Let's hope it goes quickly and safely. Green flag comes out, and let's see who comes into turn number 1 with the lead. Well, it's Tyler for the moment.
Brian Tyler did a terrific job, got a great start. Not very often do you see that guy from the inside of that front row get a start like that and lead into turn 1. It's usually the guy on the outside that has the advantage, but boy, he jerked out there to a half a straightaway lead in just 1 lap.
And now the battle is for 2nd and 3rd position. Dave Darland going into 3rd, passing Johnny Heidenreich, and 2nd place is Byron Reed as they're safely down through the backstretch, and Brian Tyler, the defending USAC Sprint Car champion, has the advantage as we watch 2, 3, and 4 here.
And you can see that Dave Darland's jerking that front end off of the corner. See that left front coming off the ground? He set the race car up to run the last half of the race when it gets slicker. Right now, it is enough moisture out there to kind of pull that off. And it doesn't seem to be drying out near as quick. We've run 2.5 laps now. And look at Hewitt. He's moving his way up through that pack and trying to catch these guys. But right now, Brian Tyler is just pulled away from everybody.
I believe that Jack Hewitt is running in 8th position here. You can see Bill Rose up ahead. There's the face cam on Jack Hewitt as he goes through the 3rd and 4th corners, comes off the main straightaway, and now heads for turn 1.
What an office to do your work in. It doesn't look like he's very excited in that thing right now. But right now, Byron Reed kind of holding up traffic. Dave Darland trying to find a way around, as is Johnny Heidenreich. Oh, Heidenreich almost gets into the back end of Darland, but does not. So he's doing a nice job. That's the Holt Muffler car. That's a car that's had a lot of different drivers in it so far this year. And so far, it looks like Heidenreich doing the best job that anybody I've seen in that car so far.
And running in 5th position behind Heidenreich is Frankie Kerr. Here's Darland now moving to the low side of the track in turn 3. Cannot take position away from Byron Reed, who hangs on to 2nd spot. There's a shot of Frankie Kerr. And while all this is going on, Brian Tyler has just left everybody. He has almost a full straightaway advantage on the 2nd place car of Reed.
Yeah, he's doing kind of like Tony Stewart did in that Silver Crown race. He's thinking up a pretty good race because everybody else is pretty close to each other, really battling hard on back here in the pack. Farther back, there's all kinds of battles as well. These 3 guys really going after it.
And Tyler has already begun to enter some slower traffic and lap some cars, so that could play a factor in this race, although Brian so far has negotiated all the slower traffic well. And here he comes up on some slower cars. That's Pletch and Rusty McClure that he comes up on.
It's actually Todd Kane in the 96 car and Rusty McClure that he's coming up on. And he's having a little bit of traffic, or a little bit of trouble now that he's caught up with those guys. Dave Darland just moved into 2nd place as Byron Reed moved to the bottom of the racetrack. But you can see that Tyler having all kinds of problems with this lap traffic. And here we see that Dave Darland has moved into 2nd position, and Frankie Kerr has now moved up to join that battle with Byron Reed.
And by the way, Jack Hewitt has moved up to 6th position as we watch Tyler lap some slower traffic here on the main straightaway. Got a lot of cars that he needs to pass in the next few laps. There is Jack Hewitt. He's in 6th spot.
See, he's doing business. He's doing it right up around the top of the racetrack like we thought he would. He didn't get sucked into that thinking that the middle of the racetrack might be a little better. He's going to stay right around the top and go forward around the top of the racetrack up against that cushion.
Jack Hewitt fighting that wheel all through now the view from out the front of that car.
You can see that he is catching up with the guys in front of him. He's gaining on the guys on up in front. That's the 51 car, Johnny Heidenreich. And there's Kerr, and he's also moved up. He's now in 4th position.
Yeah, this is the battle for 3rd position. Reed has 3rd, and right behind him is Frankie Kerr. Kerr comes up on him in the 4th corner. gets to the inside, but Byron Reed holding off the challenge. We are halfway through this race, 15 completed, 15 to go. Kerr can't pull the slide job, and Reed holds on to that position.
This is Tyler. See Dave Darland? He has caught him in the traffic. That's Dave Darland in that second white car, as he has caught up with Brian Tyler, as Tyler got hung up in the traffic up there and allowed Dave Darland to close very close to his back bumper.
Boy, he just had a huge lead, but because of the lap traffic and where he caught the lap traffic, Tyler had to reduce the speed, and that allowed Dave Darland to catch up. Dave from Walton, Indiana. In 1997, he's won 4 Central Indiana Sprint Car features, and he's going for one here in the USAC Sprints tonight as Brian Tyler continues to have to negotiate slower traffic coming up on the 15.
That's John Stanford. Oh, we got a car upside down. The leaders almost get into him. Everybody's battling here. That's Jack Hewitt and Frankie Kerr. Go around the outside. I believe that's the 1C car, Charlie Baker.
Yeah, Charlie Baker.
That got upside down there. So the red flag is out as he got into the fence upside down. The leader's very, very lucky to get around him as he was right in the middle. Darland ran over some pieces, and tough
Look at that. He throws the steering wheel out in disgust, and you can't blame him because he had caught the leader and was in a position to perhaps challenge for the lead here in the last 14 laps.
Well, that's a terrible feeling when you're running that good and to have something like that happen in front of you. He missed the accident, but obviously there was debris on the racetrack. He ran over it. It looked like not only did it puncture the tire, but also punctured something in the engine compartment. Might have torn off an oil hose or a radiator hose or something, and probably going to put him out of business.
So 17 laps have been completed. We are red because Charlie Baker flipped in turn number 2. Charlie from Concord, Michigan, and is a regular with what they used to call the Sprints on Dirt series up in Michigan.
Yeah, he runs up there. Those guys run with a wing most of the time, so this is one of the few times that he would be running down here without a wing. Bill Tyler runs in that same series. A lot of guys that run, there's a lot of guys here that normally run with wings, including Frankie Kerr and Kevin Huntley, but obviously most of them adapt very, very well to the non-wing cars, but he just got into that turn a little too hot, got up into the fence, and that was it.
Let's find out what Dave Darland has to say about this, Dave.
Well, the right rear is flat, but I'm wondering if there isn't something more wrong than that. Dave Darland, first of all, talk about the frustration. Man, you were coming on hard.
Yeah, the car was really working. You know, it was pretty tight right there at the beginning with the, they watered the track right before the race, and we was a little tight at the beginning, but once the track blew off and, the moisture was gone, a little bit of a cushion to lay on there, the thing was really nice. Just unfortunately, somebody got upside down over there, and I was able to avoid the wreck, but I ran over something, poked a hole in the oil pan, I believe, and flattened the right rear tire, so it looks like we're done.
So the flat right rear is the least of the problems. The oil pan is punctured. Remember, this is the guy who was 3 laps from winning the Indiana Sprint Week Championship and saw it all go away when he got upside down in turn 3. Now tonight, more frustration for Dave Darland. I'll tell you what, that was a heck of a drive until it all went bad.
It certainly was. And Charlie Baker is okay. He's out of the car and is all right. So we've really been pretty lucky here tonight, given the number of flips that we have had. Here's a look at it once again, and look how close Brian Tyler is to all that, right in front of Tyler, and he just barely sneaks through on the high side.
He just barely missed it. And look at Darland. He goes by, sees that piece bouncing down there. I think that's what he ran over, whatever that piece was that was bouncing in front of him, clear beyond the crash. And obviously it punched a hole in the oil pan and punctured his right rear tire. Let's take another look at it. You can see how close Tyler was to getting in this thing. He got into the fence all by himself. He's upside down. Tyler just barely missed. He couldn't have missed him by more than 6 inches. And right there, see that piece up there bouncing around? And you can see the smoke immediately after he ran over it. So it was a pretty immediate effect when he hit that, whatever it was.
And Byron Reed and several others had to go up there, too, to avoid the crash. Our third angle of the flip. He rolls over just once. And there is Darland, and Byron Reed is going to come up on the top also. There he goes.
Yeah, you can see everybody, Frankie Kerr and Jack Hewitt almost got together as they both tried to go to the high side, and there was only about 1 lane up there. So they're going to have to go out there and clean up all of the debris as well as get that race car off before we can get restarted. And it was, I'm sure, the frustration for Dave Darling has got to be awfully high right now. After he's had some pretty bad luck in the last couple of weeks, been running very, very well, but he just made a little mistake down the last race at Putnamville when he got upside down. And of course, this was absolutely no mistake of his. There was absolutely nothing he could do except miss the crash, which he did, and you know, a piece of whatever it was he ran over. No fault of his.
You know, that Hoffman car that Dave Darling drives is one of the best-known sprint cars on the circuit, and believe it or not, he has never won in that particular car. Now we have some videotape from the onboard camera of Jack Hewitt. Now, he's not going to be directly involved in this, but he was involved in quite a battle here. And he'll see the crash up ahead and slow down. But look at this incredible battle he's got going with Heidenreich.
He gets down to the inside of Heidenreich, really pressuring him. Looks like he gave him one of those little slide jumps. Look how close to the wall he comes up. That's the thing that it takes a lot of talent to do, to get up that close to the fence without banging into it really hard. There the red flag is. He's up there. He misses it. You couldn't see Frankie Kerr down there on the inside, but boy, he was very, very close to him. You can see the streak of oil where, man, he's just dumping the oil out on the racetrack after he ran over that piece of the crash.
Also gives you a good indication of how little time you have to react. Jack saw what was going on ahead of him. He also saw the red light was on, so he knew he was going to have to stop, but he had just a split second to make the decision of which way to go. Are we possibly on a record here for length of a Thunder?
Well, I think we probably are. We've not run over by more than a half an hour since that I can remember. Obviously, now we've been over by more than a half an hour and still have about 20 laps to go in the feature event. So you can see up there right now what they're doing is they're shoveling the dirt back onto the oil. There's all oil up there and fluids have been falling on the racetrack, and these guys are throwing dirt back over it. What that's going to do is make it extremely slick for the first start of this race when they get going again. If you run in the oil, it's going to be slick, but if you put that dirt on top of it, it's just going to soak up. You can see how slick it was. That guy almost fell on his butt just running across there. So you know that they've got to put something on there, or else it's going to be really, really hazardous for the drivers. So they're going to have to throw the dirt down over there, but it's still going to be pretty slick under there, and it's going to take a few laps to get all that worn out once they get the race restarted.
How's Charlie Baker, Dave?
Well, we didn't get him because we stopped to talk to Darling, but they did put him in the ambulance. He was alert, conscious, talking to him about what happened. All indications are that he's okay. Same story as before. They just wanted to get him in and check him over, but looks like Johnny Heidenreich's come to a stop right here on the front straightaway. They're making a little tweak on that car. Maybe we can get a quick word with the guy who set the track record here tonight. What are you changing here to try to get that thing going towards the front?
We have to get some tire pressure and some rear weight on the left side so we can drive harder off the corner.
That's Johnny Heidenreich, who broke the track record. And where was he? About 5th, I think, when the red came out. So we're going to get in a commercial break here and come back for the restart in the longest Thunder in the history of ESPN2. Stay with it, because we still got a few laps left to see if Tyler can hang on and win it.
Your heart pounds. Your head rings. Your palms sweat. Imagine how the drivers feel. CART, Championship Auto Racing Team. Feel the speed.
Do you want to make more money? Of course, we all do. So find out how easy it is to train at home for a better career. At ICS, more than 10 million men and women have trained for job promotions and new careers without ever setting foot inside a classroom. And now at home, in your spare time, you can get your career diploma or even your degree. Choose from any one of these courses. High school, computer programming, medical transcriptionist, medical office assistant, auto mechanics, animal care specialist, electrician, PC specialist, TV VCR repair, PC repair, legal assistant, private investigator, pharmacy technician, or get your degree. You can major in business management or accounting. Make this important call right now.
Call now for free information with no obligation. Then decide if you want to train at home for a better career to make more money. Call 1-800-834-3492. There's absolutely no obligation. Call 1-800-834-3492. That's 1-800-834-3492 for free career information.
Research shows that drug dealers are like all other lower forms of life. When you shine a light on them, they run. Turn your lights on. Get the bugs off your block.
New England versus Colorado, Saturday at 10, MLS on ESPN2.
13 laps to go in our feature here tonight. We're red again because of a flip involving Charlie Baker. Here's the top 10. Brian Tyler is the leader, followed by Reed, Kerr, Heidenreich, and Hewitt. And then 6 through 10, Yaley, Puterball, Rose, Stinson, and Davidson. The United States Auto Club has a busy weekend coming up. We'd like to show you where they will be racing so you can perhaps visit a race. Friday, they'll be at the Indianapolis Speedrome for the regional activity there. The National Midgets are on their way back from Belleville and will stop over in Lakeside Speedway in Kansas City also on Friday night. They're racing at the 16th Street Speedway in Indianapolis on Saturday. The National Midgets in Odessa, Missouri. The Western State Sprints are in Quincy, California, and the Formula 4 2000 cars are on the CART PPG card at Mid-Ohio in Lexington, Ohio.
Well, so far tonight, we've had 11 cars upside down, which I believe ties the record. That's 25% of the cars that showed up here tonight. They had 44 cars, actually 45, but one of them didn't get to run. So 25% of the cars that arrived at the racetrack have been upside down at one time or another here tonight.
Unbelievable. Here is Dave Despain with the leader of the race, Brian Tyler.
Well, I tell you, on the first start of this race, you had to look quick to see Brian Tyler because he split from these guys. Put a whole straightaway on him, then got into the traffic, and Darlin was catching him. Now Darlin is going on. First of all, let's talk about the near miss up there. It looked like it might have been a little exciting to be the leader at that moment.
Yeah, it got real close there for a second. I seen him start flipping, and he come off the wall, and I was on the cushion, so I just stood on it. They say when you see a crash, head forward, and hopefully by the time you're there, it's gone, and it was.
You worried at all about that oil that's up there, or you just blast through that and keep on trucking?
Hopefully we'll just blast through it and keep on trucking.
Did you make any changes on this car during this red flag? It looked like it was pretty good.
It wasn't too bad. The right rear's blistered pretty bad, but we don't have another hard tire to put on. All we have is soft stuff, so hopefully we can make her go to the end.
When you're the championship point leader and you're sitting at the front of the field like this, that's got to make you feel pretty good as we get down toward the end of the season in terms of your chances of defending that championship. Is this going to be a big night in terms of the title chase?
Yeah, it should be. We got a pretty decent point lead, and, you know, we just got to make all the races and finish good, and, you know, the points come with it, and hopefully we can hang on to the end.
How about I get out of your face and let you go drive this race car?
Sounds good.
Okay, we're done with Brian Tyler. They're about ready to push this baby and get things back underway here, but Tyler said other than a little blistered right rear, they were in pretty good shape, so when they crank this baby back up, he's going to jump right back out there and try to build a straightaway lead again.
Brian Tyler was the first person since Bill Randall in 1957 to win a USAC Sprint title without winning an actual race. This is USAC's 5,555th event in their history. And I thought the satanic numbers were 666, but tonight it's 5555. We've set a track record speed in terms of qualifying. Johnny Heidenreich. We're also tying now the record for number of flips in a USAC event. We're tying a mark that was established back in 1981. And we can now say that we came on Wednesday night, and at least for those in the Eastern time zone, this is continuing over into Thursday Thunder.
Thursday night Thunder once again. We thought we wouldn't see that for a while.
Man, oh man, what an evening it has been. You look forward to coming here, but boy, I'm not sure that I like all these flips that we've had tonight. Well, we will be back next Wednesday night, and hopefully it won't take this long to run the show. We'll be at Indianapolis Raceway Park for the USAC National Midget Series. That will be at 9:30 Eastern Time as per usual. Next Wednesday night on the Deuce.
Yeah, and that's going to be our last race there, so it'll be very exciting. The Midgets put on a great show there at Indianapolis Raceway Park, but so far here tonight, this has been, despite all the crashes, it has been some pretty good racing. Now, you heard him say that he had a blistered right rear tire on. Everybody put on a very hard tire because it got so black and slick. The soft ones would just be ground off if you tried to run a soft one. So he had a blister on there, but he did not want to change it. You can take a look there. That's Kevin Huntley's car. There's no blisters on his right rear tire, so he must be running up into the cushion a little more than maybe Brian Tyler was.
But the good thing for Brian Tyler, at least he'll get to start this race with none of that lap traffic ahead of him, and that's what really caused him to lose his huge lead that he had built up.
Yeah, we're taking a look at Tony Elliott there right now. They've changed the color on that car. That was a black and white car the last time we had it on television. Now they've painted it all blue, and looks pretty nice, actually. And he's been running fairly well, but he's going to have to move up a few more positions. There's Billy Puterbaugh, Spirit of Indiana car. And there goes Jack Hewitt, now running in 5th position, and with no lap traffic in front of him, he's got to feel pretty good about his position on the racetrack right now.
Don't count him out, folks. It still could be another Jack Hewitt win here tonight.
Yeah, you can see right now he's running right through the oil. He's trying to feel exactly how slick that oil is underneath that loose dirt. They've just thrown loose dirt over that oil streak. Now he's out of it down at turns 3 and 4. But he wanted to kind of get a feel exactly how slick that was going to be, how that oil was going to affect him. I think he might want to give that push truck an edge too. I'm not too sure.
13 laps to go in the feature race. The cars are being pushed off once again. When we come back, we should have green flag racing once again at Eldora.
Are you ready for more action, more danger, more impact? Well, your wait is over. The hottest, most intense, extreme Crash Impact of Crash Impact 2. 70 minutes of explosive, heart-stopping crash action. You have to see to believe. All new crashes from Superbike, Harley Series, drag racing, stock cars, sprint cars, Supercross, Indy cars, flat track, and more. All jam-packed on 2 tapes for only $19.95. Order now and get absolutely free. The new Extreme Sports Virtual Reality, featuring insane extreme sports from around the world like you've never seen before. You'll get the all-new Crash Impact 2, plus the Extreme Sports Video free. 3 tapes that'll blow you away. Guaranteed or your money back.
To order, call 1-800-903-6996. That's 1-800-903-6996. Or send $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping and handling to the address on your screen.
You may not have a 300-yard drive. You may not have a wedge shot that'll win any pro tournaments. But if you have a putter, you can win $250,000. Introducing the Compact World Putting Championship. Anyone can enter. You just need to visit your local club or pro shop and have a putter. To register at clubs or pro shops, call 1-888-WPC-PUTT.
We're back at Eldora. The thunder goes on. I see Dave Darland's car being pushed up through here. I wonder if they figured out a way to fix that thing and send it back out. And you're looking at Jason McCord. Remember after that earlier flip, I was trying to figure out where all the ambulances went because none of those guys were hurt. Jason McCord says, I don't remember doing that interview with you. And they decided maybe I better go in. And so they took him in and did some x-rays and checked him over. And he says he's feeling a whole lot better now. They wanted to check his neck. He had some pain there, but no kind of fracture. But it was lights out all through that interview. You never would have known it. He did a heck of a good job. Now he's back and okay, and this field is forming up, getting ready for a restart.
Yeah, the 1 lap to go signal has already been given. So there is Brian Tyler, the leader of the race, down the backstretch, and the field accelerates.
And he has 3 lap cars between he and Byron Reed. That's a huge advantage with him with only 13 laps to go. They've got to negotiate those 3 lap cars before they get up there and battle with him. So he got a big break when Dave Darland went out of this race.
The 3rd place car is the black car, the 5 car of Byron Reed, and then comes Frankie Kerr there flashing by on the bottom of the racetrack.
John Heidenreich actually has gotten around Frankie Kerr. He did a little work on his car on that red flag, so he's moved back around Kerr into 3rd place. And boy, is he close to the fence as Gus Wasson is holding up Byron Reed, and he's going to blast by both of them. Give him that famous Eldora slide job, and here comes Byron Reed. He tries to do the same thing.
So Heidenreich is now in 2nd spot, Reed 3rd, and it is Kerr in 4th position. And once again, Brian Tyler, there he is. He's opened up quite an advantage. The question is, can Heidenreich pass him? He has got 1 lap car to deal with.
Yeah, Byron Reed. Heidenreich really likes running that high groove. That's a place that Jack Hewitt loves to run. And oh, right there, almost gets into somebody.
Man.
Barely gets around him, and you can see that Todd Kane just decided, I think I'm going to pull down and get out of his way. I'm going to pull her in the pits.
Another close moment now. Heidenreich, Reed, and Kerr all set sail for Brian Tyler, but Brian has a nice lead right now.
The hood just flew off of Johnny Heidenreich's car going down the back straightaway.
It landed to the inside of the racetrack, off the racing surface. There it is. I don't know whether they're going to, they're going to throw a caution.
Boy, they went out and got it off of the racetrack, but the hood just flew off of that thing going down the back straightaway.
Now, what problem does that cause, if any?
Well, I don't know that it causes any unless we're going to. Oh, he's going to pull in the pits.
Huh.
I don't know whether they're going to black flag him or whether he's just got to pull in. But
well, they had the black flag ready to show him if he didn't pull in, and he does. So apparently his night is over.
Yeah, with no hood on the race car, they're not going to let him run. You have to have the bodywork on there.
Wow.
What a terrible, terrible break.
That is a tough break.
You talk about some guys, I think this must be Brian Tyler's night. Anytime anybody gets in a position to come up there and challenge him, it seems like they have some sort of trouble.
You can see Johnny Heidenreich is very, very unhappy and frustrated by what has happened here. Boy, he had a shot at it.
He certainly did.
Dave?
Johnny Heidenreich is waiting to be pushed. What's the word, man?
I guess they're going to let me go back to the tail end, I guess.
They will let you restart, but on the tail. I think the rule there, correct me if I'm wrong, Larry, is that the guy who causes the yellow has to go to the back. So it was the hood that brought out the yellow, and the black flag would have been to send him to the back of the field. It's not a problem of the hood not being on the car. The fact is that he caused the yellow, so he's got to go to the back.
Well, that's a tough break, and have to go to the back of the pack after running that well and really looking like the fastest car on the racetrack there for a few laps. He really had that thing hung out right on the top, right on the very, very top of the racetrack. And now then he got started and they stopped again. So.
Yeah, and we got one to go, so I'm not sure he's going to get out there. Here are the top five. Reed now inherits second, Kerr third. Hewitt is up to fourth, and Yaley now is in fifth position. We've got 9 laps to go, and there you can see that Johnny has finally gotten out of the car and is giving it up for the evening.
Well, he's obviously pretty frustrated after running that good. I don't know exactly whether he stopped. Either way, he's out. Now Byron Reed goes to the bottom of the racetrack trying to gain that spot. Can't quite pull it off. It looks like he's found something down there around that bottom of the racetrack that to his liking, and that's going to be the way he's going to have to go if he's going to get around Brian Tyler.
Jack Hewitt running in fourth position. We have the onboard shot. There it is. Kerr up ahead, Byron Reed to the left, and the leader, Brian Tyler. And now Tyler has only about a 5 or 6 car length advantage on Byron Reed, but he did get a good jump on that restart and pulls away just a little bit.
You can see that Hewitt and Frankie Kerr both going in on the bottom of the racetrack, sliding up and catching that cushion. Tyler, on the other hand, is running right around the top of the racetrack. Now Kerr moves up to the top of the racetrack, as does Jack Hewitt. But they don't seem to be a whole lot faster right now. Tyler seems to be running as fast as anybody in the racetrack.
Onboard camera from Jack Hewitt. Ooh, I thought maybe he was going to get around. Kerr disappeared there for a moment and then came suddenly shooting out from the right side of the screen. Maintaining that third spot here is Tyler. And there's the advantage he has on Byron Reed. Here comes Kerr and Hewitt up on top of the racetrack. Yaley is also up there in the blue car. 5 laps to go.
Jack Hewitt working on Frankie Kerr, trying to find a way to get around him. He tries one of these slide jobs. Kerr going into the corner, he goes way to the bottom of the racetrack that time. Tries to do that little Eldora slide job. Kerr just a little bit too quick around that top groove.
Brian Tyler on his way to victory here. There's Hewitt working the low side of the racetrack now, and that's we got a spin, and it's Reed, the second place car.
Everybody, the yellow flag is out, but everybody's slowing down. Luckily, everybody did miss him. What a tough break for Byron Reed. That's how quickly this place can bite you, though. When you run that close to the wall, you tap it just a little bit, and it can spell disaster for you.
And now Frankie Kerr moves up to the second position. Hewitt third. J.J. Yaley is fourth as the car of Byron Reed is facing the wrong way on the backstretch and has a push truck there at the back of it.
Well, he's probably going to be able to restart, but again, he will be at the back of the pack, and that's a tough break for Byron Reed. Again, nobody wants to be in second spot. Every time somebody gets up to second, it seems like they have a little bit of problems, especially when they get up there and act like they might want to challenge Tyler. I think he's got that voodoo doll working for him behind him.
26 laps completed. We got 4 more laps to go. And there is Jack Hewitt, who's now in third position, and this is the replay now. Watch the top of your screen for Byron Reed as he comes off the second corner.
Yeah, he slapped that right rear against the fence and just did a reverse spin right in front of everybody. The first 2 guys to miss him are obviously the 2 guys that could see him. Some of the other guys back there, Peterball and some of those guys, came off that corner pretty hard and didn't see him, and they were lucky that they missed it, because you're a flat chat coming down that back straightaway and see a car sitting there dead still up in the groove. Look at J.J. Yaley. Yeah. He's probably came as close to running into him as anybody.
So now Frankie Kerr picks up the challenge of Brian Tyler as the caution light is going to remain on. I believe they got the 1 lap to go signal, but now the caution is being waved once again, and so we will not go back to racing this lap.
Well, this restart is going to be extremely important. If Brian Tyler can hang on getting into turn 1, if Byron Reed, they're trying to get it straightened out. He's obviously bent something on that car when he hit that fence, and they're trying to get that thing straightened out and back going again, but he's going to have to start on the back of the pack.
Billy Pewterball has moved up into 5th position here on the restart.
Well, he's they're going to have to restart at the cone, but they still have the yellow flag out. Byron Reed just now being pushed off, so they will go another lap before that green, they get the 1 lap to go signal.
And there is the cone that we referred to. That is the end of the backstretch, and at that point, the drivers can accelerate and begin to restart this race. Here is Reed getting the restarted, and I would guess that his right rear is packed with mud.
Yeah, he's going to pull back in the pits. It's either packed with mud or he might have even bent the rear axle.
Yeah.
He hit the wall, and something's wrong with that car, and he's not going to stay out there and try to race, because you could see the left rear was bouncing. If it's bouncing that bad, then the right rear has got to be bouncing a whole lot worse.
No real point. There's only 4 laps to go, and he probably couldn't move up very far if he did stay out there. So
watch Kerr. He's going to go to the bottom. Tyler's going to go to the top. If he can pull this pass off coming off of turn number 4, he might win it. No, he couldn't do it. He hangs on. Oh, we got a car on the wall back there.
That was Eric Gordon that slapped the wall coming down the main straightaway. He's okay, however. The race continues. And once again, Frankie Kerr heads to the bottom. We watch from Jack Hewitt's on board. Hewitt is running in third, and Kerr cannot pull the slide job, and Brian Tyler remains in front with 3 laps to go.
Well, you're faster through the middle of the corner, but you don't have that straightaway momentum. That banking gives you all kinds of momentum down the straightaway. And if you don't have run down off that banking downhill and get that momentum, it really slows you down the straightaway. Tyler, with only 2 laps to go, seems to have everything well in hand at this point.
And now Frankie Kerr moves up onto the cush once again and has decided against that low bottom move. Well, he's in the middle of the racetrack right now, but knows that he cannot pull off the pass. Now Jack Hewitt closes in on Frankie Kerr for the second position. The white flag is out. We're on the last lap of the race. Brian Tyler has less than a half lap to go for a win. Here he is off corner number 4, way up high on the racetrack. Brian Tyler wins at Eldora. Second place goes to Kerr, and third place to Jack Hewitt. Then J.J. Yaley finishes in 4th spot. So Brian Tyler wins another race here and puts another mark in the book as he continues to add to his points lead in the USAC Sprint Car Series. Finishing in 5th position was Jim Stinson.
Stinson did a great job. He got around Peterball right near the end. Dave,
Well, you heard Brian Tyler say before the restart, we're just going to try to keep it all together, go on and win this thing, and then win the championship. He has won Eldora in the longest Thunder ever. Our next Thunder telecast, the last one of the year from Indianapolis Raceway Park, the Mel Kenyon Classic for the midgets next week. Congratulations, Brian Tyler, and so long from Eldora.